podcast for Kaitou Sentai LupinRanger versus Keisatsu Sentai PatoRanger. I am Vashi V, and joining me today are...
Dedicated.
The Little King.
And Rye.
And today we're talking about episode 25. So we open up with a recap. Pato Kaiser and Emperor X are defeated by Raimon. And then we cut to Granio. The others aren't surprised by Raimon's strength and rage after losing his two buddies. And Granio is amused. And then we get the opening. Any thoughts?
Other than the feeling of we're fucked? No, not really.
Um, Mostly I'm just, shocked that, like, the other two were already defeated and this is just a mini arc. I thought Ryman was going to be kind of like the focused antagonist for a while, but no, we just kind of rushed through him. Which is fine, because we got some really good episodes out of it.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed it was rushed, because I was looking at least Raimon himself as a general, for lack of a better term. But looking back on it, we already have the two generals, Ghosh and Destra. Because they really haven't done much beyond every once in a while Destra's been a hindrance. But I had expected Raimon to be along that caliber of this is going to be a while to defeat, and he's just slightly stronger than your typical monster of the week. I was a little disappointed. I mean, it makes sense considering the fact that he's got the same goal in mind. Because the only Gangler we've seen who would fit the general bill is Samigo, because we have no idea what the fuck he's planning to do, other than be a freaking stinker.
Maybe he's also getting a kick out of this. Like, last episode we saw he was disappointed it wasn't the thieves who were fighting Giwi.
Right, it's like he seems to just be getting a kick out of what's going on. Like, I'm looking at him mentality wise as as like somebody like Genis, who's really just going along with things just for his own amusement.
Yep. So then we cut to the station. We get the episode title number 25, Gonna Be the Strongest Ever. Jim reports that the collateral damage is severe. The police figure that turning giant isn't his collection piece ability. And Noel is missing after the fight. We cut to Gerard. Nighttime. Noel wakes up covered in bandages. He climbs out of bed and looks at a picture of young Kairi and his brother. Kairi enters with food, and he quickly puts it down because he's upset that Noel was looking at the picture. Kogure told Noel about the thieves' loss and what their promise was. But Kairi's still hostile towards Noel and sees their relationship as just using each other. Thoughts?
Common courtesy between thieves. I can appreciate that, so thank you for not letting Noel die. And, a little bit more on the emotions going on with Kairi and his brother. Always a good thing, in my opinion. And Noel stepping in as well. And it's nice to know that he's not oblivious to all of this. It's just like, oh, you guys are thieves, you're stealing the collection, I'm doing it too, why wouldn't you let me help you? It's like, no, he knows why they're doing it, and he respects that, but that doesn't mean he's not curious, which fits him. So I really like this.
It's kind of weird to me that how, like, empty Kyrie's room is. Like, he doesn't even have a dresser. But you know what? Whatever. He's a simple man. Uh, my real concern here is that it looks like he walked out of the bathroom with that food. Because I swear I saw a sink and a mirror on the other side of that door.
I'm gonna have to go back and find that out. Um, did you have anything else, Rye?
For that scene, no, King said it.
And like I agree with King. Is like it fits Noel's personality to be curious in the aspect of like he's the engineer for the collection pieces. So it was like he has that innate curiosity of how do things work from a logical standpoint, anyways. It's like, and it seems to come across well here, and it's not just with the collection pieces and stuff like that. Is he's curious as to what's making Kyrie tick. You know where his motivations truly lie and all that. And I'm still looking at all of this, and because I'm sure there'll be one with Umika as well, as him earning their trust. Because as of right now, he's only proved himself by, yes, he's gotten the collection pieces, and then the last episode with Tuma. So it's slowly building him. This is showing him slowly building the trust, and I like the fact that it's not just outright blind trust. He's having to earn it. I'm glad that they're going that route.
For sure. So then we cut to Raimon asking Zamigo for an answer. Zamigo isn't really impressed, doesn't want to work with Raimon, because he knows that Raimon is basically afraid of him because his collection piece doesn't work. What that means, we're about to find out. But of course, Zamigo laughs maniacally. Holy crap, this actor sells it so well. Raimon attacks, Zamigo dodges and turns Ganglar form. The police deploy to the fight, and Kogure tells the thieves about their location as well. Thoughts?
Jeez, Amigo still creeps me the fuck out. I saw a bit more of Taiga in his actor now that I'm looking at him, but oh my god! He is one of those Sentai villains that legit terrify me. I think the last time that happened was either Scorpio or that's saying something for me. Just, oh my god, props to the actor. If you wanted to be terrifying, you got it. You aced it.
Yeah, and it's really nice that like he's calling Ryman out. Like, I'm not someone else's tool here. You're just scared of me because you can't stop me. And it lent a nice hint to Ryman's collection piece. Like, oh, is it because he has ice powers, or is it because he doesn't have a collection piece? And we easily find out, oh, it's because he doesn't have a collection piece.
Well, I think it was added into it the fact that he can't heal whatever Zamigo does to him.
That's it, because Zamigo doesn't use a collection piece.
I mean, there's a theory of, because I don't know if any other attacks actually did any damage worth healing on him that weren't collection pieces. Because it could just simply be that his thing will heal all damage, but for some reason it won't heal any damage done by Zamigo.
I saw it as like because Zamigo doesn't use a collection piece. Like it specifically works against damage caused by collection pieces, which is a lot of the Ganglar's primary offensive weapons.
Right, and that fits too. Um, I like the fact that we got to see them fight, because that's been my issue with Zamigo here lately. Is like, yes, he's great as a point of interest, and in the words of King, being absolutely terrifying. But he hasn't done much.
He doesn't do anything.
Because the most he's done so far is we had the one fight.
Did you stop talking or did you cut out, Vashi?
Looks like you cut out.
I
Oh
think
no.
my
Ah,
internet
you're
dropped.
back.
Okay, my internet's being wonky
Oh.
apparently. But
Okay. You said he had the one fight.
yeah, we had the one fight with Kyrie, and then he's done really nothing but talk to people. He's been nothing but an oddity. The hey, look, this guy's still around kind of thing. He's still doing stuff, but he hasn't physically done anything. So to see him in action a little bit was a nice touch. And it also points out that he's still up to shit because even the ganglers don't trust him. Because here we have Raimon, who, in theory, should their ganglers are all after the same goal, but he's terrified of Zamigo, which means Zamigo has is strong enough to whoop his ass, and two probably will whoop his ass. So trying to get him on his side was the smart play. And it showed more in depth of Zamigo, his capacity, I think, for lack of a better term, of this isn't somebody to take lightly. It added to that. That and he's just creepy. See, Koroto, you didn't have to go crazy to be creepy.
No, but
You
we still
bastard.
liked it.
Oh yeah, we
That's not
liked
to
it. That
say
was
Zamigo isn't close to that.
and this is a and I want to draw a parallel between him and Dan in terms of being creepy, because it shows that it can be done different ways. Because Kuroto was I'm insane creepy, and Zamigo is we're just gonna get fucked.
One thing that
it,
oh, go on.
which to me is slightly more. He's got that calm that's added to it that make intensifies the creepiness of him.
And I enjoy like actual villain interaction like we get here where they're disagreeing and they fight each other. It's one thing that's made Destra and Gosh interesting to me because their ideals conflict with each other, but they have to work together. And Destra particularly clearly doesn't like it. He wants to be like the stereotypical like loyal companion to Dogranio, but even he's like off doing his own sketchy work behind the scenes.
Yeah, Geodger had some really interesting villain interactions later on. Uh, so let's see.
Right.
Yeah, the police arrive and interrupt the fight. Okay, so let's change roll call. They attack Raimon. Raimon counters, but Zamiko just flees. He doesn't want to fight. The PatoRangers use their blaster finishers, but Raimon is unscathed after using his collection piece. Looks like he pretty much absorbs the attack. He counterattacks and nearly defeats them, but Noel arrives as the Silver Thief. Sango warns him about Raimon's collection piece. Kaitou X changes into Lupin X and does the solo roll call. Pretty fun. His belt buckle is unable to unlock Raimon's safe as well. Raimon attacks and knocks him down some stairs and out of his form. And then the thieves arrive. But before Kairi can scold him, Noel begins analyzing his buckle. He learns that status gold safes have 6-digit combinations, so 2 VS vehicles need to be used simultaneously. Kairi wonders why he risked his life in place of the thieves, despite being injured. Noel reveals that he's the same as the others. He wants to bring someone back using the collection as well. He asks Kairi to trust him. Kairi doesn't, but he accepts him as a fellow thief and LupinRanger. and the others smile in agreement. Noel is too weak to join the others, uh, and then Kairi has a plan that he'll be bait so they can open the safe. Thoughts before the awesome fight?
I love this. First of all, we've already shown that the X technology is not better, but drastically different from the normal versus stuff, obviously. So the fact that not even his tech can crack a gold safe, I mean, we know why he did it now, but the fact that he wasn't able to either shows that this isn't just some rinky dink where we can't do it because we're the weaker type sort of thing. This is legit. We need a new strategy here. And, I mean, it's a classic fake out of, risk your life to get the info you need to win the day. I've seen it in Sentai before, but with Noel, I'm okay with it. But then I'm okay with a lot Noel does, if I'm being honest. And I like the compromise with him and Kairi. Just like, no, I don't trust you, but you know what? I'm willing to accept you. That's a fair compromise, and maybe over time it'll be more. Also, I so fucking called it! I knew Noel had something else to do with the Lupin collection. Finally, my first Toku theory proven right. It's a fucking miracle.
You're really happy about that, aren't you?
Yep.
Side note, King, be wary that can tend to get old really fast.
So,
I'm okay with it.
So, you went over a lot there, Decade. First off, this episode made me think about something, which is the thieves have to spend more time getting ready to go out because they have to put on their fancy suits. Whereas the cops don't have to worry about that. They're usually in uniform and they don't need to be. And so my real question here is, do you think that like the base thieves have a suit that takes long to put on, or Noel?
Noel seems more intricate, but he doesn't really need to put it on.
No, but he does anyways. Like, and his is like a full-blown tuxedo, which makes me think that like it takes longer to put that on than what the normal thieves put on.
Not to mention, he has to swap from that to the PatoRanger one more often than not.
I think he just picks one for the day.
That's my thought, because otherwise it's absolute insanity to be constantly switching these outfits, especially considering the fact that they know he's working with both teams.
Everyone knows. Like, he didn't try to keep it a secret.
Right. This would have been a perfect thing if he kept his identity secret from the LupinRangers, or however it worked out. It was like, it would have been fantastic, but it would have raised this exact question, which I've had since Umiko went on the date with Sakuya at the restaurant. Was they, oh shit, here's a monster getting her ass kicked. Hold on, let me stop and put on my outfit. Just morph in the fucking bathroom. You know?
No, she didn't want to. She didn't want to do it without the others, though.
Right. It's like, but it was one of those things. Like, it adds a little bit of, I want to say, neglect for the threat of the monster on the thieves' part. Which, yes, I understand is to protect their identity, keep them safe, and all that. It's like, but they're literally taking time out of their day and out of a monster terrorizing the city to, I'm gonna put on this fancy outfit and a hat. Then I'm gonna leave because I have to morph in front of people.
Speaking of which, why weren't they already wearing their masks when they rounded that corner? The cops could have been right there.
Yeah.
the one huge problem with that scene.
Yeah,
But
that
it,
and
I
that's my
understand it.
only problem with that scene is you fucking idiots, why aren't you already wearing your masks?
They've been so good up till now. It's one of those. I'm amazed that like it didn't show Sukasa seeing them. Only because it would have made later in the episode perfect.
Hmm.
uh,
No, they totally did it on purpose because they're gonna have like a deep moment with Noelle, so they
right.
didn't want their faces covered up. But yeah.
Uh, that D moment was really good. Kyrie has a point. Like, how can you trust someone that keeps asking, "Can you trust me now?" Uh, I do like the reveal that the gold saves just have a longer combination. The reveal that like it just takes two collection pieces at the same time to open it is a little iffy, but it works. It doesn't need to be anything big. And this sets up an amusing scene later where I imagine Destra being, like, held down by the police while you have two thieves on each side opening both of his saves at the same time.
That would be amazing. I'm not gonna lie, that would be amazing.
As for who Noelle wants to bring back, we've already got a friend, a love interest, and a family member. I don't think he wants to bring back a pet, so I'm really not sure, like, who he'd want to bring back.
I'm a little iffy on his story. I mean, the odds of it being true are, fairly high, considering the way the last episode went with Tuma. He doesn't seem like the type who would just, at least after the last episode, to just spout off whatever he needs to say. Because he was legit with Tuma. I don't see him not being legit with Kyrie. But with the way he said it, it seemed it would be the perfect thing to say. Because he already knows that the Lupin Rangers have this issue and this is what their goal is. What easy way to earn their trust than to have the exact same issue?
Mm,
It makes it a little suspect, especially with him constantly asking, immediately asking afterwards, "Can you trust me now?" So I fully 100% stand behind Kyrie in his decision to go, "I don't trust you, but I can accept you." It's more believable because that's exactly how it came across to me. Is you're just saying what I want to hear.
true. Although I don't think he's lying about this.
I don't either. I would admit it's highly unlikely that he is, especially considering the fact that this is Sentai and we're ramping up to the halfway point, if not past the halfway point at this point.
Oh, we're assuredly at past the halfway point. Series rarely
So
hit 50 nowadays.
right, so him adding stuff in just to be crap, I think, would be a discredit to the service and a discredit to the character so far. I mean, it may if it does end up being crap, I'm sure it'll be validated later on in the series. But as where everything stands now, it doesn't make sense for it to be anything other than the truth. Though with the gold status, was a little disappointed. That's all it was just you need to have two vehicles, mainly because it set up what it did in the fight. It really else what Kyrie had set up in the fight, but it adds because it seems very lackluster that that's all it is. Is the coach just longer. Like I was expecting something. Oh, you got to do this and then open it, or some weird shenanigans. But it does lead to it adds more intensity to what's going on because they only have on the regular basis three of them. Well, that only leaves one person to be bait. In the case of this one, that's going to be some issues of because they're still trying to get the collection piece before the cops defeat the monster.
Or that you could, pull out the cyclone as well.
Well, right, but it still leads into the issue the time frame. It's they're having to do more planning and sneaking, and to be able to do it before the cops. Because in theory, if this would have been the issue back when the cops first got Biker, they never would have got the collection piece. Because there was no time for it to hit 6 digits. Or for 2 of them to reach the monster to do it. It adds a different dynamic to the fight to have to do this. So I'm okay with it. It makes it more challenging, in my opinion.
And it's not going to get overplayed because Ganglers rarely have gold saves.
Right. We know it's just the higher ups. And then it's not. Then it's going to come down to, well, which ones have collection pieces, which ones don't. Because we already know one that doesn't, and he's got 2 gold saves.
You're talking about Destro, right?
No, I'm talking about Zimigo.
He has gold
Zamigo
saves.
They're normal.
Yeah, he has normal saves.
They looked gold to me today. I'll have to double check, but it looked gold to me. It could have just been the coloring.
You know what? I think they are gold. Yeah, you're right.
Let me. I'll double check.
And then because then we're gonna get into later on where they have chains on their saves.
Oh, they are gold.
Oh, I guess
how did we miss that? He doesn't have
so
pieces anyways.
Right. Well, but that's what I mean. Is like so far he's the only Gangler we know of that doesn't have a collection piece.
Yeah.
So it could just be one of those of we had this issue of them running into somebody like Zamigo. Shit, now we wasted our time, risked got our asses handed to us, or whatever the issue may be, and for nothing.
I'm wondering what Destra is going to do, because he gave his 2 away. Does he just have another 2 on reserve?
Probably has some stashed.
Probably.
But,
well, I mean, he is a higher rank. It is possible.
True.
Well, we also have the issue of Ghosh, who has 2 but 1 safe.
Right. True.
So it could have just been one of those issues that he's got a stash somewhere and just will take what he needs.
It's just that the 2 he gave away complemented his bazooka style so well. Distance and heat seeking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like I'm still iffy on Noel overall. I mean, I like him as a character, but I'm worried that they're gonna rush through him as a character just to start moving things, to get things moving a lot faster than they are now. And I don't want to see that happen. I'm worried about that.
Okay, so the fight. Yeah, Raimon knocks the PatoRangers out of their forms. Steve's Kaitou change and roll call. Raimon sees through Kaity's plan and takes Blue and Yellow out for a while. Red uses scissors and blade, but still struggles. Tsukasa sees this and suggests that they back up Lupin Red. Keiichiro reluctantly agrees. The PatoRangers join in the fight. Yellow and Blue wrangle Raimon's arms with their grappling hooks, but just like the Gangler in the first episode, he grows another pair of arms and knocks Cyclone out of Red's hand. Lupin X jumps in the air, catches it, and unlocks Raimon's safe with Red. And still the collection piece. But before they can defeat him on the ground, he just turns giant. Good Striker arrives.
Let's talk about what just happened first.
Okay, go for it. It was awesome. That's all I have to say.
Oh man, was this one fun! Oh my god. First of all, the choreography was absolute sick. I love it. I'm happy to see Lupin Knight again. That was cool. I loved the strategy. Most of all, I loved the team up. Like, of course, I kind of figured Tsukasa would be the one to suggest it because one, the Red Ranger suggesting it, like stereotype, would have been a little iffy considering, Keicho. But also the fact that we've known from the start, like from the very first bio we got for the Rangers, Tsukasa was always the middle ground. She was the one who, yes, she would fight if need be, but she was the neutral one on the Lupin Rangers. So the fact that she's the one to suggest, look, we can't beat him without them, whether you like it or not, we're gonna have to back them up. I love that, and it's the girl that's suggesting that. That makes it even better. Oh my god, and Noelle just jumping in last minute, and I don't mind the excuse that it's 6 digits instead of 3, and that's why it's harder. And like you boys have been into, there are lots of different scenarios that we'll have to face later, but we'll burn the bridges when we come to them. But for now, oh my god, I love this so fucking much.
I still can't get over like the no cut, just camera following the action around the fight. Like those are always really good. And I do love that it's Tsukasa who like suggests working together because it plays off of last episode, which just happened timeline wise. Also, there's something else we predicted, which is eventually the cops are going to want the thieves to steal their collection pieces to make the ganglar easier to deal with. This is a start, and it's probably not going to be too common right after this, but still.
Like, I love the way this was filmed. It's one of my favorite things about LupinRanger is literally the way the fights are filmed. I love the fact that Tsukasa was the one to do it, and not just for your guys' reasons, but the fact that it's been pointed out that she is the most level-headed out of the cops. Because you have Sakuya, who's inexperienced and, for lack of a better term, rash because of it, and then you have Keiichiro, who's just hard-headed and, for lack of a better term, ignorant. He has his goal, and that's all that matters. So having her be the ones going, hey, this way makes more sense, is fantastic. Real quick, does anybody here watch Legends of Tomorrow?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, I'm going to make a
I do.
I'm going to make a reference to it. We're all about every aspect of this plan followed Leonard Snart's plan for a mission. Make a plan, stick to the plan, expect the plan to go to hell, screw the plan.
Yeah.
Because it's exactly what happened.
I like that philosophy.
I mean, it's a staple of Sentai that I've noticed. Sentai especially, writers big with it too. Of they had this planned out perfectly, and then plan went to hell because he grew 2 other arms. And then Noel showed up and screwed the plan.
I do really like that Kairi wasn't able to do it on his own when he tried. I was worried that he was gonna like fall into the like overpowered red thing. It's like no, this series has been too good for that.
See, I could have accepted it in one instance if he had used Blade. Because, under theory, that's 2 collection pieces.
If they were separated,
Goody has pointed out that that's 2 collection pieces in one.
It could be that only one of them has a dial, though.
And that could very well maybe. It's like, but it would have been an excuse. That wouldn't have fit into, oh, it's because he's badass. And because he's red. So it would have been more acceptable than if Kairi did it with Cyclone and the Jet and the Red Dao Fighter. It would have taken anything away from it being awesome, but would have taken away from the standard let's push Red as hard as hell as we can, which is a little easier and harder in this series, despite the fact there's two.
And
But all in all, it's like this fight was amazing, and as sad as I am that this is all the Ryman core was, it did set up interesting ideas for the future.
and I still like that when the PatoRangers go to tell Lupin Red that they'll help him, uh, Tsukasa's the one who says it, Sakuya agrees, and then Keiichiro just stands there like letting him know like I'm here, but he's not happy about it by not saying anything.
I did like the fact that Kyrie picked up on that.
It's like, oh, you too? Alright. And just the way that like the Power Rangers immediately grab onto the wires to help the Lupin Rangers pull onto it. And alright, there's a seventh member of this team. Noel jumps in as well. Like, great use of everyone, even Keiichiro like grabbing the extra arms.
Right. That was awesome. I was the only thing that's a little disappointing is only because of the way they're pushing characters. I was disappointed that Sakuya didn't help Umika. Other than that, I'm fine.
You know why?
Because apparently Toei understands that Zero hates shippers.
Can we take a moment to like reflect on how Tuma has the least interaction with anyone else?
Yeah, but I want him to interact with Tsukasa.
Like
Well,
I
at
would
least
take.
he got some love with Noel.
Yeah,
That
he
was
got
really
love
nice.
with Noel. And at this point, I would take anyone.
Think about it this way: if he did with Tsukasa, the two level-headed of the groups, who knows?
I don't see anything there because it seemed like they were kind of like suggesting Tsukasa and Kairi. Although
What's the fun in that?
that could have been more of a sibling kind of relationship, so there's hope.
They may not push that, considering the fact that Tuma's entire purpose for this is to get his girlfriend back.
All right.
Yeah, my thoughts.
Oh, right. Never mind.
How did we forget that?
I
don't know
Because he
because it
has
was
the least
literally.
interaction.
I don't know how considering it was mentioned earlier this podcast.
By me, no less.
Yeah.
Okay, but to be fair, I kind of started the train.
You always start the ship train.
I don't always mean to.
And that's a weird image now. It's stuck in my head. A train full of ships.
Moving on.
Yeah, so Good Striker arrives. Red and Ichigo fight over who will use him. Goody suggests that they just combine their power. Even Noel wonders if he can do that. And he can. All the main vehicles got die to form Good Kuru Kaiser, VSX, or Good Feeling Kaiser. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting one. So Goody pops up in the cockpit with Red, Ichigo, and X, and he has a king's crown on his head. Ichigo begins arguing immediately, so Goody replaces him with Sango. Wow, we got pink, silver, and red in the cockpit. That's
Best fucking comedy of the show thus far.
Oh my god, just the way, like, both Kairi and Noel confusedly and concernedly look down the hole that Keiichiro fell down, like, what?
Screaming the whole way down.
And I do love that he chose Tsukasa to replace him with.
just pick a level-headed with a hot-headed. That's how it works.
Like this.
Also,
Yeah, go ahead, King.
sorry, did anyone think of this song? I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na-na, when they
No.
saw that?
No, actually, I absolutely did not.
Oh man! Oh my god, I fucking love this mech. And the little crown on Goody, icing on the cake. And of course, we just talked about the comedy.
Also, I didn't notice this until my second time watching, but this altogether mech looks like a Ganglar.
Yeah, it does. But it looks awesome.
It also
There's. Go ahead.
it doesn't use the auxiliary mechs either.
Right. This is the precursor to the all-together mech.
Yeah, this is the first altogether mech. Mains only.
See, Q Ranger. This is what you should have done. Because this is just badass.
Yeah, well, at least they kept the solo cockpit.
Like I'm okay with the way they did the cockpit in this. Is like I'm still trying to figure out where the other two were at.
Probably in the arms.
Right. It's just I want a diagram, but it worked amazingly. I'm not sold on the name because it's just a really weird name for a mech.
What was
But
it
then again, Good Cool Kaiser VSX. I don't know what to make of the name. Beyond the fact that that's a mouthful. But in of itself, I like the fact that it actually uses the weapons from blue and yellow. Rather than it just being decoration. Which led to an awesome ass mech fight. Like, these are the mech fights that I don't mind being CG'd. Because it works really well. And then, yeah, tossing out Keiichiro was just amazing. I actually laughed out loud when that happened. Because it's like, it was literally just Goody going, you know what, I'm sick of your shit, goodbye.
And like, he chose to kick out Keiichiro over Kairi.
In fairness, he's the one who started it.
True, and Goody was probably like, you know what, this'll probably happen with the next two anyways. Let's just pick someone that isn't going to argue with them. And the fact that he chose Tsukasa makes me think that Goody's been paying attention to their bonding.
It's like, and Noel in the background, to me, is just seems like that parent going, no, stop, don't do that. He had that Willy Wonka attitude of, no, don't.
Like,
like he was fully aware of what was about to happen. And it's great.
Yeah. So, yeah, Keiichiro gets kicked out. Then we have that epic mech fight with awesome effects, and it's great. They finish him with good Kuru Kaiser vehicle rush strike. Yeah, even more of a mouthful. And basically, the vehicles go flying. Nothing we haven't seen before, but it's definitely shot in a lot more interesting fashion, where it's basically shooting the vehicles out. And Goody ends the Gattai before they start fighting again. The Granio shows some concern at Raimon's defeat. Then we cut to Jiraiya. Kairi drags Noel out, who wants to stay. He does have a home, but he says that the chores are a pain and it's lonely there. He wants the thieves to help him, but they all refuse. In a pretty sweet moment, they explain that They don't help each other more than what is necessary. That's their rule. Noelle goes kicking and screaming. Episode end. Thoughts?
I think it's expected that we're gonna get a lot of mouthfuls this season. I don't know why, but I always like the humor of Goody just ejecting all of them from the Megazord. That's just
All right,
funny to me.
everybody out.
Oh my god, it's just so hilarious.
And it surprises
And
them every time because you hear them scream.
Yup, every time. It just makes him even more of a wild card.
You know what it probably
love that.
is? It's probably them getting thrown back into their personal mechs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's probably it. Added with the turbulence of the mechs going flying everywhere. Oh my god, yes. And I sort of like the idea of Noelle staying with them. It's like, yeah, I have a place, but it's lonely over there. And, you know, if they're gonna accept him as a Lupin Ranger, he has to follow their rules. So I like that they're bringing that back. And I swear, I was dying when they were trying to drag him out of the cafe. Oh my god, Noelle is a gem, and I love every second he's on screen.
It's great because they don't help each other more than necessary. With little exception, they don't want to get close to each other. They're just doing this job together because they have to. And so Noelle has to face the reality of that of he can't just go to them as a friend because they're not friends. As for the Ganglar scene with Dogranio actually being concerned at this point, it's like they defeated Ryman. This may actually be a problem. So Dogranio actually expected Ryman to win. And now he has to consider his options here. Because this is getting more serious than just a fun game for his own amusement. Like, what if all the Ganglars die?
Like to me, this makes Degranio a better villain than a lot of the past or more recent Sentai villains in the past. For example, George is a great example of it. Genis didn't care that anybody ever got defeated. There was no worry on his part. It's like this shows that he's genuinely starting to get concerned by that none of their plans are working or anything else. So it adds more authentic, whatever that word is I'm trying to say, to him as a villain of a crime syndicate. I did kind of like the fact that early in the episode, Goshin pointed out that apparently this is not the first world they've been on. Because they pointed out that Raimon could destroy worlds on his own. So this is not the only world they've been to, which I thought was a nice little touch. I am disappointed that Noelle has a home.
What, you want him to be homeless?
No, I wanted him to live on the train.
Let's accuse you then.
I mean, the
Honestly,
guy came.
I can see that.
I mean, the guy came from France. Unless he's living with Kogure.
Which he probably
Ew,
isn't.
let's not go there. Let's not go there.
In theory, he has nowhere to live in Japan. He lives in France.
He probably rented out an apartment ahead of time
Well,
because he knew that his collection pieces were almost ready.
I know, but
honestly,
I like.
I agree with Vashi on this one because if he does live on a train, they've specified he's an engineer. Where would his workshop be? It would be perfect if it was on the train.
I did like the fact that when he decided, nope, I'm not leaving anywhere, and came up with the idea to help around, he just backflipped up. That because he was playing up the injuries, and then nope, I'm fine. Let me help. And the fact that Umaka basically went, no, just go call your cop buddies. I thought that was a nice touch.
You already have a job. You don't need us. Go.
Like this was a good ending on a nice lighthearted note for what was several serious episodes. So it feels like it closed that arc up pretty well with the setup with DeGranio being worried. So it's a good setup to a nice start of hopefully the start of the next arc.
I think this is still like, I think like this whole thing with Ryman was the start of the next arc, and this was just kind of like a mini arc inside of it.
Like the prelude to it.
Kind of like with Noel's introduction, like, all right, this is a new arc, and now here's like the sub arc with Ryman.
So basically, we're now at the calm before the storm of, oh crap.
Probably.
Like the one thing I liked about this episode is overall was the fact that yes, it's the start of them working together, but it wasn't out of let's work together. It was out of shit we have to. It wasn't a mutual thing of they weren't setting out to work together. It was they were forced to.
And as that becomes more of a common thing, they get more used to it and more accepting of the idea.
And then it just they're doing it out of habit rather than willingness to.
Oh, I look forward to the episode where Keiichiro, like, absent-mindedly helps the thieves and doesn't realize what he's doing.
I'm waiting for that and for him to finally figure out that Kyrie is Lupin Red. Because only because of the dynamic they've had outside of, or well, within their personal lives. Because you have Kyrie who's been teasing Keiichiro, and Keiichiro who's been kind of trying to mentor Kyrie. It's like I want that reveal for them to both go, because in terms of Lupin Red, he hates Lupin Red, but he likes Kyrie. I want to see that come into play. Because I think that'll be fantastic. It's like that's the one thing I'm waiting for with the reveal of the PatoRangers actually finding out legitimately who they are.
Yep, it'll be good. So, final thoughts. This episode was awesome. Loved the fights. Loved the mech fight. It was. I loved Zamigo being creepy. So, just overall, it was an awesome episode. Look forward to next week.
Yeah, I had an absolute blast with this one. And Noelle and Umika. This one's gonna be an interesting one. And also, anytime I get to see Umita, I am happy as a clam, so I cannot wait.
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised at this point that this was a good episode, but this one was a particularly good episode. The new mech introduction was great because, hey, the teams are starting to work together. I think I can trust them to, like, pilot the same mech. Okay, Keiichiro is being a problem. We're gonna swap him out for this one.
Wait,
It,
go ahead.
it will be interesting to see if, like, we get different combinations in the main cockpit. Aside from Noelle, who will always be there in one suit or the other.
Like that's one of the things I'm looking forward to with the this particular is the different people in the cockpits. You know, because typically this is the the main cockpit. So to have the non-leaders in the cockpit is fantastic.
It kind of, like, broke the norm by getting rid of Keiichiro.
This series has done great in breaking the norm, which I'm not in any way complaining about it. It's been fantastic. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing how this series progresses. Like Rice says, like I'm not surprised that this was a good episode. 25 episodes in, and this is still an amazing show for me. It's like I've loved every single episode. So I'm I just can't help but sit back and enjoy the ride because everything's been gold so far. At least for me. Even the stuff that was seemed really, really odd, a la the lingering crotch grab in that one episode.
That's the only episode I would say is like kind of not a good episode.
But
But
it wasn't a bad episode.
it wasn't. It was just
There was just a bad choice in the episode.
that
like,
happened
all in all.
more than once.
Yeah. But all in all, it's like this series hasn't, aside from that one little misstep, if you want to count it as one, this series hasn't fucked up in, majorly like other series have. It's like all the characters seem fleshed out decently at this point for where they're at. It's not red heavy focus, even with there being 2 reds to start with. It's just been an amazing series so far.
Whew. Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. As you can see, we really like this series. We'll be back tomorrow with more Kamen Rider Build. Also, another good episode. And then Sentai is still airing next week, even though Rider isn't. I believe that's what someone told me. Anyways, we'll possibly see you next week for more Sentai. See you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Adieu and later, taters.
Thank you all for listening. We'll catch you guys next time.